So far we've talked about how every paragraph needs to have a main point, expressed through a topic sentence that clearly communicates what that paragraph's about. And then that main point needs to be backed up by evidence and analysis that creates the argumentation needed to make a strong paper. But that just gives us the beginning and the middle. But what we need to finish our paragraphs well is an end, the L of our acronym, the link that connects it to the larger whole. Now, there are three different kinds of linking sentences that we can use to end our paragraphs well. And the first one is a summarizing link. This is probably the linking sentence you're going to use most often because it links back directly to the beginning of the paragraph. The whole point of the summarizing link is to summarize the main point. Now, not exactly the same way that you expressed it in the topic sentence. Please do not copy and paste it there. You want to re-express it, paraphrase yourself in a new and creative way that still gets the main point of that paragraph across. So let's return to our camping example once again. We have provided the main point that camping is better than going to a resort. We have given evidence about its inexpensiveness and about how it is, time with friends, whatever your other evidences are. And then we need to wrap it up with a linking sentence. You can pause the video if you want to come up with your own first, but I'm going to keep going. We could end with the sentence, with all these reasons to go camping, there is no reason to vacation at a resort again. See, again, we are expressing the same idea that camping is better than vacationing at a resort. It is very clearly expressing that main idea for your reader once again to kind of wrap it up with a nice little bow so that we know exactly what that paragraph was trying to accomplish. But like with topic sentences, sometimes we don't want it to be so cookie cutter. We sometimes want to set up for the next paragraph to come. And that's where a setup link is very useful. So summarizing link, setup link. And the whole point of a setup link is that it's cueing your reader for what's to come in the next paragraph. This one is going to be a little bit less summary focused and a little bit more focused on what's coming. So let's say we were using that same paragraph. We'll ignore the summarizing link we did before. Now we're going to end our paragraph with a sentence that cues the next paragraph. And let's say that the next paragraph is about how camping gives you a sense of adventure and adrenaline when you are out in the wilderness. If we wanted to set up our paragraph to hint at that, we might say something like this. Yet none of these reasons compare to the rush of adrenaline you get while camping in the woods. So, we have summarized a little bit. We've talked about the reasons, the implication there being the reasons that camping is better than vacationing at a resort. But then it's actually tossing the ball in the air for the next thing. None of these reasons compare to the rush of adventure. That's what our next paragraph's about. It's cueing us, and then you can use the next paragraph to jump off of this setup link that you ended your last paragraph with. Now, if this was a single paragraph on its own, not part of an essay, you don't typically want to use setup links because individual paragraphs need to be complete. But when they're part of a whole, when you have multiple paragraphs in a paper or in a section building towards something, setup links can be very effective ways of kind of building links between paragraphs. But it's not always just with the next paragraph that you want to build a link. Sometimes you want to build a link with the larger paper as a whole. And that's where our third version comes in, our section or our thesis link. This is the broadest lens yet. Paragraphs are basically the smallest component of a paper. Paragraphs make up sections, the individual arguments that tie back to then the largest thing, the thesis statement, what your entire paper is about. But what that means is that sometimes your paragraph wants to have linking sentences back to those sections that it's a part of, or even that thesis statement as a whole to again create cohesion within your paper. And these are especially effective at the end of sections. If you have a section that is 3 or 4 or even 5 paragraphs long, one of the best ways to end the final paragraph is a linking sentence that ties up the entire section and brings it back to the thesis in some way. So again, let's look at an example. Let's say that in our camping essay, our thesis is that camping is crucial to a well-balanced life. Not a great thesis, I'll admit it, but at least it gives us something to work with. Now, let's say there were 3 arguments or 3 sections that you wanted to use to help argue that point. You have that camping is good for a well-balanced life because it allows you to commune with nature, because it's a great vacation option, and because it teaches valuable life skills. Now, we have obviously been focusing on that second section throughout the course of our examples in the last few videos, and we're going to do that again, but we want to come up with a way. Let's say we had a few different paragraphs about vacationing and why camping is better, and now we want to wrap up that section in a way that links back to the thesis as a whole. In that case, we might say something like this. In this way, camping is not just an enjoyable vacation option, it is the relaxation piece of a balanced life. Do you see it? Camping is crucial to a well-balanced life. Camping is a great vacation option, and we reference both of those things here. We summarize, as it were, the entire section, and then connect it back to the thesis as a whole when we talk about it being the relaxation piece of a balanced life. This is a great way to build a linking sentence that doesn't just end that individual paragraph, but ties the entire section back to the big idea that you're talking about in your thesis. And again, like with topic sentences, if you're still kind of struggling to put together a strong paragraph, it's okay if you don't dive straight in with these section links. This will come in time with practice as you get better at writing paragraphs. Focus on those summarizing links. Get used to being able to summarize the main point again in your paragraph, and then in time, you can move towards linking to the next paragraph or even the section as a whole to create stronger cohesion in your papers. And if you were listening closely, you'll have noticed that that last sentence was actually a setup link for our last video, building cohesion within and between paragraphs.